life experience and overcoming adversity. It makes you very strong. My mother is an example too, just very strong. God bless her, I'm so lucky. She's an old soul too. She doesn't quite know what to make of me. She was taught Christianity and is firmly entrenched in that. But she does, believe in a God, and so that's good. It'd be interesting when I run into her on the other side to see what she like, see, Mom, I told you! Everything I said was true. So, does anybody else have a question?
Yeah, I have a question. Were you conscious of these totally at the time, or did you remember them after the fact?
Nope, I was wide awake.
Okay, because what happened to me, and I'm still questioning whether or not it's valid, I read several books on astral projection. I have always been interested in it, and by the time I had read like the third book, I had this revelation. When I was 4 years old, I was very sick for a long time, and I had to stay in bed. And I got bored. You're 4 and you can't get out of bed because it was a thing that affected my heart. So I remember just that there were these cracks in the ceiling in my bedroom that I was very fascinated with. I don't ever remember seeing myself in bed, but looking back, it's like there were these really neat cracks in the ceiling that just always fascinated me, and when I look back, I wonder if I was like partially popping out.
You were probably out and you were bouncing lightly off the ceiling and checking out the cracks.
As an adult, I've tried a few times, but I think the fear factor probably comes into it.
Yeah, it's brutal.
But when you're 4, you can do anything. It's good.
Yeah, when you're 4. Does anybody else have a
You said that in your book you talked about dealing with terrorists by astral projection. What do you think of, since we're in a situation that's a reality now, what do you think about the morality of using something like that to handle the situation? Coming from the perspective of, on both sides, people think that they're doing what God wants.
Right. The whole good-evil thing, you see that from another perspective when you're on the other side. I remember telling my mom, there's no good and evil. Maybe that wasn't the best way to put it. There is good and evil, but just to serve as learning tools for our souls here. The learning transcends the good and evil. For example, you decide to come here, you're a soul, you decide to come here and try it out. You get here and you get caught up in all this and you end up, you murder somebody. Then you die, you find yourself back there, your life does flash in front of you. You relive everything. And in that last moment, there's a moment where you're taking something with you. What did you come here to accomplish? There's that feeling. And if you did, let's say you murdered somebody, now that's a basic wrong to anybody's moral sense. Well, most people's moral sense. But if you feel that looking back on your life and how you did, you say, wow, I didn't do very good, I'd like to try it again. I don't think I should. I wish I didn't murder that person. And you also see, because there's all this behind the scenes stuff going on. There's a Harvard psychologist that goes around and talks. He was hypnotizing people that had post-traumatic stress syndrome. And the mother came in and said, my son died at 21 in a car accident. I can't get over it. And he hypnotized her, was asking her questions, and she was describing life back in the 1800s, and it dawned on him that she was describing a past life. And all of his indoctrination just kind of went out the window at that point, because he realized that in truth, reincarnation is what's going on. And after speaking with her, she came in and she said, thank you, doctor, my son came to me last night in a dream. The son came and said, Mom, don't grieve for me. I knew when I came here, they told me before I was born He said, your mom needs to learn the lesson of loss of a child. That's tough. And he said, I knew I would die at 21 in a car accident. Because you choose your life situation. You get to pick based on what you want to accomplish here and how strong you think you are and how much you think you can handle. Yeah, I'll try that one, okay. So they said, do you want to help your mom out by giving her this lesson? He said, sure. And at 21, it's gone. And he said, you know, I did this for you. Don't grieve for me. And she was, once she understood that, and the grieving was over. But yeah, there's just so much going on. I know there's another woman, Betty Edie, maybe, heading toward the light. Embraced by the light. She's kind of an experience over there, because same thing, she sees this white light and she perceives it as, I think, Jesus. You know, sometimes you put your own face on that, but it was a guardian angel, and he showed her, they're looking down at the earth, and he says, you know, what do you see? And there was a hobo on the street of New York, street guy, and the rich lawyer comes walking by, and he's got money and success and all that, and he looks over at the homeless person, and you see the disdain on his face, and you know, the guy's reaching for money. And so the guardian angel says, now look again, here comes the lawyer again, he's walking down the street, the street guy. Now she can see the auras from the spirit that is inside these two people's bodies. The street person is this huge ball of white. He's a very old soul, like a Jesus. And one of the purposes he is here is to affect this lawyer. When the lawyer looks over at the homeless dude, they meet eyes, and there is that connection made. And this lawyer is forever changed by looking into this homeless dude's eyes. So a lot of times, the old souls, the last timers, I call some of them, like, you know, Jesus and some of these others must have been their last time here. They're not going to be in positions of power like presidents. They're going to be working at the gas station, or they can be anybody. So you never know. Does anybody else have any questions, comments? Sir.
One comment. When I was a kid, I used to be in bed and feel like I was sleeping on the opposite wall. Like my head was at the foot of the bed. My feet were. Is that out of line? Does that happen?
Cool. Yeah, you probably were. Yeah. And you were turned around there, it sounds like.
It's happened more than once.
Yeah, I'd encourage you to try going out of body in that state. Because if you did it as a kid, I think that does stay with you as long as you can get over that fear.
Well, you just don't ignore the tug, right?
Don't ignore that. Please visit my website at cryforahero.com. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.